Good morning, all of you. My name is Atif Jamshed, and I am working as the assistant professor in Department of Information Technology in ABS Engineering College. And today we are going to cover a very important topic. The name of the topic is transaction and its properties. Later on, we will discuss some more good scenarios, competitive scenarios in this unit, in the transaction unit. But today we are going to cover only basics. Okay. So in many of the books I have seen the many number of definitions what is transaction. So in many books I have seen this: the transaction is a collection of operations, right, and that forms a single logic unit of work. And in another book I found this: the collection of related read and write operations. So when we see different books, different references, then we find the different definitions on transaction. So what is actually the transaction? The transaction is an event. Okay, it is an event which occurs on the database. Generally what happens, a transaction reads a value from the database and or writes a value to the database. So first of all we have to consider the two important operations before diving to the unit. First operation is the read operation. What is the basic functionality of read operation? And the second one is write operation. So when we talk about the read operation, what happens? Everything is executed by the CPU. We know it very well. Somewhere in our hard disk we have the value stored in it. Suppose the X is the name of the value. Okay, this value is stored in a hard disk. Now you want to read the value. Okay, you want to read the value. What is the value of this X? So what happens? You transfer this block X to the main memory. Right, you transfer the block first to this main memory and copy the content of this X over here. So when you do this, what are you doing? You are performing the read operation, right? And what is the write operation? If CPU is changing the value, if CPU is the central processing unit is changing the value of this X and saving this changes to back to the hard disk, this is called write operation. I hope I am clear in this, right? So another very important thing is, suppose there are two operations, operation 1 and operation 2. Okay, so what happens? How we context switch the operations among operations like this. Suppose just like in operating system, if you have any concept of operating system, then we can say that the transaction is analogous to the processes. We have seen the concept of process in the operating system, then we can relate it. Okay, so suppose in the very first operation, or we can say very first transaction, the very first very first statement is executed by the CPU. Okay, we are considering here only single CPU. We have single CPU, only one CPU which is executing all the operations, all the transactions. We have two transactions here, transaction 1, transaction 2, or we can say two operations, operation 1, operation 2, consolidated operations. Okay, the very first instruction is executed by the CPU. Okay, and then the second instruction is input output operation. What is input output operation? Input output means we are reading the value from the hard disk or we are writing back to the hard disk. So here your CPU is not involved. So what we can say, we can switch the memory, we can switch the role of the CPU to the operation 2. So over here in this period your CPU is free, so we can allow the CPU to perform the task of transaction 2. The CPU will perform the over here. So in the same way we can switch, like now CPU will perform here. Okay, and input output is going to perform here. So in the same manner like operating system, we can switches among the processes. So this is the core concept, how we switch the CPU among the different processes. So back to the topic, what is transaction? So transaction is a collection of operations that forms a logical unit of work. Okay, So what is logical unit? Logical unit can be considered as a transfer of money, or we are performing the e-payments through the online shopping. So these are the logical units. In the short form, in a short manner, we can say these are the read and write operation we are performing on the database. Fine. So this is our transaction. So here is an example of a transaction. This R means read, okay, and this W means write. So what we are doing, we are just reading the value from a database. This is A is a value in a database, and in here this is input output operation, right? And here in the second instruction we are deducting some number from this value. Okay, suppose A is your 100. Suppose the value of A is 100 over hard disk. So what we are doing, we are reading the value first, and then we are deducting 50 from that value. Okay, so then this A will be 50. Okay, and then this write A means you are again changing the value from your main memory to the hard disk, and again you are reading the another value, and that is B. Okay, in the short form we can say, in a short we can say, just we are transferring the value, we are transferring the fund from A to B. We are transferring the money from A to B. So A is transferring 50 rupees to B. Okay, 50 rupees to B. So here there is a deduction. This is a CPU operation over here. Okay, there is a CPU operation. CPU is deducting the 50 rupees from the A's amount and writing their changes in the actual amount of A, and it is reading the B's amount and adding the value into the B. Okay, so this is the basic of a transaction. But our main motive is we want to make this transaction successful. This is our main aim. Transaction must be successful. This is our main goal. So to achieve this successfulness of a transaction, we have to follow certain guidelines, and we have to follow some properties, and the name of these properties are called ACID properties. ACID properties, ACID. Okay, the full form of A is atomicity, and this C is known as consistency. Fine. This I is called isolation, and this D is called durability. Fine. So these are the properties to make a transaction be successful. Your transaction must follow all these properties. I hope it is clear. Fine. So let us dive into the properties. What are the main logic behind it? So what happens, there are two kind of images in a database. First is called before image, and second is called after image. Okay, this is your database. Okay, so suppose you are reading the value of A which is present in the database. You are reading it, okay, and you read it, the before image of a database is 100 rupees, suppose. Okay, and you are deducting the value of 50 rupees from that A, then after image will be 50. A initially have 100 rupees and you have deducted 50 rupees from the database, and after image will be 50. You again read the value of it, that is 50, and you didn't change anything, you just check the balance in your account, and again the after image will be 50. So after performing some operations on your database, there are some images, or we can say scenarios, before updation and after updation. So you must keep in the mind. So what I am trying to say that in a database, when you apply some operations, there might be chances that the values of the database might be changed. Okay, is based on the operations. So what is actually ACID property? ACID property means, in every book it is written all or nothing. What do you mean by all or nothing? Atomicity is a very important property. Atomicity says either execute all the operations or instructions of a transaction. Okay, either execute all the operations or none of them. Okay, I tell you with the help of some example. Just see this. Suppose you read a value of A, okay, and you have deducted the 100 rupees from A, then you write it. Okay, again you read a value of B, you add those amount into the B and write B. So we have two accounts, A and B, each containing 1000 rupees. Suppose A initially have 1000 rupees and B also have 1000 rupees. Fine. Then we now start a transaction to deposit the 100 from account A to B. Fine. Then transaction has since 6 instructions. Very first instruction, 2 instruction, 3 instruction, 4, 5, 6. There are total 6 instructions in this transaction. Okay. Then to extract the amount from A and submit it to B, the after image will show 900 rupees. Okay. If all the operation will be executed successfully, then what will be the actual? Because A is transferring 100 rupees to B, then A amount will be 900 and B amount will be 1100. Fine. But suppose there is a power failure just after instruction 3. Okay, there is a power failure here. Power failure, or due to some any other reason you couldn't perform the rest of the amount. Okay, then what happens? You have deducted the amount from A, but the this amount, deducted amount, is not added into the B account. Then what would the after image? A will be 900 rupees and B will be 1000 rupees. Then what happens? 100 rupees is lost. This is lost because this transaction did not follow the atomicity property. What is atomicity property? All or nothing. Either all the transaction, all the instruction will be executed, or none will be executed. Fine. So what happens? We use a very important term, that is commit. Okay. What do you mean by commit? If we allow the operation commit after the instruction, then only the changes will be directed to the main database. Okay, when we perform the commit operation, then only the changes will be there in a database. Before the commit operation, all these instructions will be there in a log records. Fine. Okay, so these I have written here, with maintenance of the log records, these all the instructions, the values, updations will be recorded in a logs, and after commit, when the commit is done, then the log file is deleted. Okay, so what we have to do? We have to follow this. Either all the operations will be executed or none of them. Fine, I hope it is clear. The second property is consistency. Second property is consistency, and the consistency property means that your database must be consistent before and after. Whatever you are trying to execute and whatever you are trying to withdraw some amount, you are deducting something, your before and after image should be similar or consistent. Okay, so how we can do this? We can do this using the integrity constants. Fine, we have already covered the integrity constants in the previous lectures. So if we execute particular transaction in isolation together with the another transaction, there are chances of some unexpected result. So to give the better performance, every database management supports the execution of multiple transactions at the same time. So integrity constants should not be violated, and I can show in detail what are the integrity constant. The very first integrity constant is domain. Okay, in every domain there should be a similar value. If your domain is a number type, then in every column, in every cell, there should be a value that contains only number. Okay, second type of integrity constant is entity. Okay, your primary key should not be null. I hope it is clear. We have already covered this. Third is key constraints. Key should be used. Key must be used to identify an entity within a set. Okay, and the last one is, which is very important, that is referential integrity. Referential integrity. Referential integrity says if there is a linkage between two tables, table 1 and this is table 2, if there is a linkage between two tables with the help of foreign key, if you are trying to delete the value from very first table and that is linked to table 2, then it should not be there. This case should not be there. We should avoid the violation of the referential integrity constraint. So if we are following all these integrity constraints, then we can say your database is consistent. Okay, and this operation, this property is managed by the programmers or the users only. Okay, just like in atomicity property, this atomicity is covered by the recovery management component of a database. Okay, so in the 3-tier architecture of database, we have covered the recovery management component. This portion is covered by atomicity, is covered by the recovery management component. Okay, third property is isolation. Isolation means isolation says if a transaction must not make a modifications visible to the other transactions until it commits. Means there is a single CPU and two transactions is performing simultaneously, but they are not aware that CPU is interleaved among them. Okay, first CPU is performing input output operation here, then CPU is performing the arithmetic operations here, then the CPU's the memory is interleaved here to the transaction 2, but they are not aware. They are performing in isolations. Okay, so concurrency control manager of a database system is handling this property. Okay, so we are performing everything in isolation, but the consistency should be maintained. The both transactions are different. This transaction is different, this transaction is different, but we are performing the statements of the transactions concurrently. Fine. And the very last and the very important the portion of this property is durability. Durability means once a transaction has committed, okay, we have seen in a transaction in this, like see, you can see this, we have seen this commit operation. Once that this commit operation is done, then the changes should be reflected in a database, or in case of any failures. Means if failure occurs after commit, then what happens? Your data is, or your data must be safe. Your data is there within a system. Okay, once transaction has committed its changes, the changes must never get lost due to any kind of failure. And this portion of a database, or this property, is ensured by the recoverability. We have seen the term the distributed database, where we keep the value of any particular file or data or any information. We keep the backup of that file in multiple servers, right? So this recoverability manager or recoverability property of a database ensures that this durability is done in every manner. Fine. So this states once the transaction has been completed, the changes it has made should be permanent. The changes should be permanent. Fine. This is very important. So we have covered today the basic of transaction. What is transaction, and what are the different properties? The very first property is atomicity. Fine. Second property is consistency, and the third property is isolation. Okay, and the fourth and the last and the very important property is durability. But we should keep in a mind whatever we are going to change in a database. Okay, the amount or number or any value should be consistent before and after input. We perform the modification, we perform any modification on any data, it should be consistent whether we are using serial or concurrent transaction or concurrent executions. So this is the very important concept. We should, or we must, I must say, we must understand this. Thank you so much.